In this video, we discuss 3 reasons why a Roth is better than either a 401k or a traditional IRA. Coming up next on Holy Schmidt.
Holy Schmidt!
A retirement purist makes the argument that whether you fund a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA, or their 401k equivalents, you end up in the exact same spot, assuming that your tax rate is the same at the beginning and at the end. Here's the thinking. If you contributed $1,000 to a regular IRA and that $1,000 grew at 8% per year over 20 years on average, then you would end up with $4,660.96. Let's say at the end of that time, you were still in the 20% tax bracket and you withdrew it all. You would have $3,728.68 after taxes. Now instead, let's say that you had that same $1,000 that you wanted to invest, and you wanted to put it into a Roth. Well, the first thing you have to do if you were in the 20% tax bracket is take $200 out, and you would have $800 of investable money to put into your Roth IRA. You put that $800 into the Roth at 8% growth for 20 years, and you would again end up with $3,728.68. But you can now take that money out without paying taxes on it because it's a Roth, and you will have the exact same amount, assuming that you have the same tax rate at the beginning, the same tax rate at the end, and the same investments in the middle. So if you're a retirement plan purist, you're indifferent whether you choose a Roth or a traditional 401k or IRA. But here's the problem with the theory. When you go into retirement, you're probably not going to have the same tax rate. You might, but most people, when they go into retirement, their tax rate either goes up or goes down depending on how much they take out. So point number 1, with a Roth IRA, you have tax-free withdrawals. That means that, in essence, you have more predictability in terms of your actual income during your retirement years because you've taken the subject of tax off the table, and you now have the ability to think just about the investments and nothing else. Additionally, Roth IRAs don't have required minimum distributions, which means that you can let it ride. You don't have to keep it in your account and then start withdrawing it rigorously once you hit a certain age. This flexibility can have significant financial advantages, particularly if you expect to be in a higher tax bracket as you get deeper into retirement. The next is that a Roth IRA has no age limits. You can continue to contribute even past your RMD age. As people live and work longer, some people actually work well past what is considered the traditional retirement age, and having a Roth in place allows you to continue to add to your retirement portfolio. This is critical for those that want to maximize their retirement savings and maybe even leave a legacy for someone else. The next is that if you have the choice between investing your excess capital into a brokerage account, a traditional brokerage account, or a Roth IRA, if you're comfortable with the limitations, you are almost always better investing in a Roth IRA if this is for retirement. Let me explain. If you maximized your 401k and you've maximized all of your other retirement vehicles and now you still want to continue to invest, one of the choices you have is to put the excess funds into a traditional brokerage account. That account would be subject to normal capital gains, long-term and short-term, depending on how you withdraw the funds from the account. But in essence, it allows you to build a bigger nest egg than you could have built just with your 401k alone. But what are you putting into a brokerage account? After-tax dollars. Now, if you have the ability to invest after-tax dollars into a brokerage account, well, you're probably going to pay some form of capital gain on your gains, or into a Roth IRA, which is better for you if you plan on keeping your account in place and not drawing from it until retirement age. Well, in most cases, it's the Roth. The other aspect of the Roth is that, unlike a traditional IRA or a 401k, the withdrawal from the Roth doesn't count towards what's called your combined income when it comes to taxation of Social Security. Social Security uses a fairly complicated formula, and one of the elements in the formula is your taxable income, effectively. When you add that to the other elements of the calculation of combined income, if you exceed a certain threshold, you have to pay tax on a certain portion of Social Security. I have a whole video on this, by the way, and I'll put a link to that in the description below. Since a Roth IRA isn't taxable, that means that all things being equal, your combined income is lower, which also means you could have lower Social Security tax. This last aspect, by the way, is one that most people don't think about because they don't think about the interplay between their retirement accounts and Social Security. But a Roth isn't perfect, and there are a few things you need to consider because it could make a world of difference. First, when you're at the point in your career, particularly in the beginning years, you don't have a lot of money. But if you want to get something into a retirement account, it's better to put something into a retirement account and take the tax break at that point in time than to put nothing into a retirement account because you can't afford to put anything into a retirement account. The tax deduction on a normal contribution to a 401k or an IRA, especially for low-income earners, is there and available, which helps ease the pain of contributing to your retirement account. And as I mentioned before, a Roth doesn't have an immediate tax benefit because everything is going in with after-tax dollars. The second point is that a regular IRA doesn't have income limits like a Roth does. So if you're a high-income earner, the Roth may not be available to you in the traditional sense outside of something called a backdoor Roth, which is beyond the scope of this particular video. This fact alone makes a traditional IRA more inclusive for both those that have a lot of money and those that have very little. Finally, if you're a high-income earner, a traditional 401k or IRA is better for you because you get the tax deduction here and now. The assumption, of course, is that you're paying a higher amount in taxes as a percentage of your overall income today versus when you take it out in the future, so therefore there's a tax arbitrage. If you like this video, check out that video on why many baby boomers are in financial trouble. This is Jeff Schmidt. Thanks for watching.